Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today is April 22nd, 2021. Today, we are going to continue with the students' presentations. Lourdes has already sent her presentation. Shara will present twice, so she has two presentations today. I think she decided to go pre-recorded. After those three first presentations, all we have to do is wait for Melissa's presentations. With that being said, let's begin today's presentations, and there won't be a general feedback, at least live. For this class, I will send the teacher's feedback as in a private message, and that's only if needed. Okay, so let's begin.
I will do it pre-recorded. Today I'm going to talk about how can social media be dangerous for underage kids. So I think that social media it's a big space, internet space will do it pre-recorded. Today I'm going to talk about how can social media be dangerous for underage kids. So I think that social media it's a big space, internet space for anyone, for kids, for teenagers, and for people in general. I think that the internet has uh, it pros and it cons. Um, there is so many information that you have access. I think that underage kids are more um, fragile to this kind of information in social media because underage kids are starting to learn things are starting they are starting um, about anything about everything. So it's very important that the parents could be so alert about what the kids saw in watch in social media. Um, we know that social media are not a trustful place because anyone could upload any kind of information there. There is there could be um, good information, useful information, and also it could be bad information, wrong information that could confuse and could misbehave the what the kids do. So I think that underage kids uh, don't uh, don't they shouldn't use social media because they are kids. They are still kids. So I think that kids should be in other places. I know that it's um, more comfortable, more useful for parents that their kids stay at home with their cell phones or with their tablets or with their computer. So yes, it could be more uh, safe in some way, but I think that kids should be with other kids and should do uh, the things that kids used to do. For example, I remember that when I was a kid, I know that the there is the I know that this time it's very different that in my time or my parents' times, but I think that this kind of cost the, this kind of customs should stay for older generations. For example, when I was a kid, I remember that I used to spend so much time with my cousins at my aunt's house, and we used to play with plastic bottles, with simple things that we found in my aunt's house. Um, I don't really remember use technology when I was a kid, um, and maybe it's because there weren't the technology that we have now. But when I had my little brother, I remember that my mom and his dad wanted to play to buy him uh, a cell phone when he was, I don't remember, maybe 6 year old. Yes, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And I was like, what? I know that now it's a very different time that it used to be, but I think that the kids have to be kids, so they they shouldn't be involved in these social media things or these internet things. And even I think that video games are for kids too, but I think that they shouldn't be all for them. I also have a cousin that is 2 years older than my brother. Um, and I remember that when he was a kid, because he's a teenager now. But I remember that when he was a kid, he always was with the video games, with the PlayStation, and that kind of stuff. So I really think that kids should do the things that a kid has to do. Play with toys, play with other kids, and have that childhood that maybe the most of people um, used to miss when we grow up. So I think that social media could be dangerous because uh, it distracts them, and also I think that social media could give them wrong information, and in underage uh, in that time, I think that it's very important to save and take care what they are looking, what they are watching, what they are um, talking about, because there is so stranger things in social media. Um, I remember l- listening about some dares, like the blue whale. I remember, I don't remember very well, that that kind of dares started in internet, and I think that it was especially in social media. So I think that for a kid it's not a good place that they could be. So I think that parents should take care about what their kids do, and yes, maybe have a space in social media when they they will have the age, um, but take so much care about what they watch and what they listen in them. So thank you. That's all, and I will send you
classmates. In today's oral presentation, I will talk about Adolf Hitler and especially of his leadership. But first, I will start talking a little of his biography. He was born in Austria on April 20th, 1889, and died in Berlin on April 30th, 1945. Sorry. He was an imperial chancellor since 1933 and Führer, which is a German word meaning leader, So he was the leader of Germany from 1934, until his. In today's oral presentation, I will talk about Adolf Hitler and especially of his leadership. But first, I will start talking a little of his biography. He was born in Austria on April 20th, 1889, and died in Berlin on April 30th, 1945. He was an imperial chancellor since 1933 and Führer, which is a German word meaning leader. So he was the leader of Germany from 1934, until his death. Adolf Hitler is the cause of the death of more than 6 million Jews. This genocide is better known, or it's called as the Holocaust. So I don't want to talk about the terrible actions that this character commit. My oral presentation is talk about his leadership, that it really impressed me. And I found a website which analyzed some of his phrases. So this website analyzed the phrases, and he get to the conclusion that he's a leader, an authoritarian leader. But I want to mention two phrases specifically because those phrases caught my entire attention. The first one is, it does not matter if you are in the presence of God or the world, the strongest always has the right to enforce his will. So when we hear this phrase, we could get to the conclusion that he had a strong personality. His personality was so strong that he imposed his ideas to the members of his team. He did not allow others to express his ideas or put them into practice. So he only has the right. He only has the opportunity to express the ideas. Always people has to do what he said. Another phrase, it's said, it's not my ambition to be at war, but it is to create a new national and social state of the highest culture. In other words, the end justifies the mean. He made critical decisions even with the terrible, the devastating consequences. So Hitler was someone inflexible. He liked to order and make them carry out his order. In addition to having a great speaking capacity, and it could be said with that capacity, he enchanted all his followers. Great motivational speeches were that motivate thousands of people to follow the Führer. I think about how that leadership capacity made many people commit great atrocities because they followed Hitler's order, because they thought Hitler was right. In addition, we have to say that Hitler uses a system of rewards and punishment. With that, we can already imagine the pressure felt by those who did not agree with Hitler's thought. Hitler was definitely an authoritarian leader, and much more evidence proving the great potential of his leadership. Leader. Let's start with the advantages. Number one is quick decision making. Number two, full control over the team. The responsibility for poor results falls on the leader. This benefits this is an advantage for the teams, for the members' team. Another important advantage is the high performance in the short term because there is no probability that someone will not carry out on their activities. Remember, there is a full control over the team. Now let's see the disadvantages. Number one, low motivation. The leader is very focused on results, so he does not have time to motivate his team members. Another disadvantage, is low self-esteem. Of course, we're talking about the members' team self-esteem, not the leader. The leader has clear what he wants, and his self-esteem is too high, so no one tell him if things are correct or incorrect. Another important disadvantage is the destruction of the creativity and innovation. The only opinion that matters is that of the leader. If others have more creative or innovative idea, it will never be heard. Like these points, we have a lot of disadvantage for this kind of leadership. As a result, the use of an authoritarian leadership must be restricted, only in terms to obtain high and good results. So, teacher, that was my oral presentation for today. Classmates, in today's oral presentation, I will talk about Adolf Hitler and especially of his leadership. But first, I will start talking a little of his biography. He was born in Austria on April 20th, 1889, and died in Berlin on April 30th, 1945. He was an imperial chancellor since 1933, and Führer, which is a German word meaning leader. So he was the leader of Germany from 1934, until his death. Adolf Hitler is the cause of the death of more than 6 million Jews. This genocide is better